Preseason is officially in the books. Cuts are coming. Who's QB1? And which surprise Raider just forced us to change our 53? Raiders just played the 49ers. I'm your host, Eric the Clueless Sports Dad. That's Raider Greg. Welcome in, Greg. What's up?
What's up? Glad that game's over.
Oh, man, what a mess. I don't know the ups and downs, but there are some surprises out there that I'm very happy about. And then there's three things that I still have questions about. I've got all my notes. I'm ready to go. Took a lot of notes this game because, man, this one's going to be for real a very tough decision. And there's a lot of guys that can end up getting cut from this roster. It's not just based on this game because, I mean, let's be real. This is supposed to be more about a post-game show about the Raiders and 49ers. And I don't know that there was enough here. I mean, there's a couple guys I would like to start out with, and I'll just start out on a positive note, some positive notes here. And I think that I wrote it down in my notes here that there's three guys that I think are just that guy that I have circled as him. When they say that guy is him, I think we have some guys that are that. And I want to say the first one is the obvious. It's Mike Washington. Mike Washington looks like a dude that's just going to be wrecking shop for years to come. And he's back, but he is backing up Ashton Jeanty, and we want to run the ball. So let's run the ball with the probably going to be the two youngest best tandem in football. I got to say that because they're both two young dudes. One's on year 2, one's on year 1. So what do you think about that situation?
I love it. I mean, obviously, I'm a huge Ashton Jeanty fan. I saw a picture of him walking into the stadium tonight, and there's no boot, there's no crutches, there's nothing going on there. So I'm confident he's going to be ready for week 1. And yeah, Mike Washington, I agree. We got a dude. Like, he makes one cut, he's coming downhill, he squares up his shoulder pads, and he's trucking dudes. So whether there's a hole there or not, he's 1,000 miles an hour straight into it. I love that. And yeah, Kubiak said it. I want to run the damn ball. So you get those two guys rolling, and then that's going to open up things in the passing game because we are going to need them rolling without a doubt.
Yeah, for sure. And so the other two guys that I have is him, and I'll just hit on this, and then I want to revert back to it, is I think Naylor, believe it or not, even though that one that went through his hands, you saw him make that one-handed catch. He had a couple catches earlier too. I think in this offense, him and Tucker are actually, you could say almost that they could be legitimate in this offense, number 1 wide receivers, because Clint Kubiak puts them in an area where they can run a route, get in space, find it, sit, catch a ball, then make moves with their speed and stuff. You see it from Trey Tucker. I think Trey Tucker's wide receiver 1 for this team. I love everything that he does. Blocking, the jet sweeps. I mean, you could just see him making plays all over this year, and he's grown every year better and better. So I think Naylor could be him. Like, he's shown those flashes. The pick 6 high ball, or not the pick 6, it wasn't a pick 6, the pick. Some people blame Fernando for that. I think if he throws it a little bit earlier between the linebacker window, he might have it in there, but he threw it up and over. A little high. Naylor's got to still make that play because he had 2 hands on it. And before we come back to that wide receiver group, because I want to hit on that big time, the other guy that I think is him is the guy we got last year, and that's I have 2. My apologies, guys. I have 2 other guys. Is Stokes. Stokes is him, dude. I mean, he just plays the ball in the air perfectly almost every single time. He had that one where the ball was going out to the sideline, read it, used his hands to get in there and swipe it away. Would have made Charles Woodson, our guy, very, very proud on that play for sure. And then the other guy is the guy we brought in. Spytek hit the money on this. TJ, man. Out there at corner, he was locking dudes down left and right, and he had that huge pick. He's a huge. I just wrote down huge pickup this offseason. So for me, he's another guy that's him. So that's two guys in the secondary for me that I think are going to be huge players this year on the defensive side.
Yeah, for sure. They both had nice nights. That specifically Stokes. I mean, that one play you're talking about, he lined up on inside the numbers on the left side of the formation, and he followed that wide receiver all the way across the field, made the play on the right sideline. So you don't see that every day in the National Football League. I don't care if you're playing a second, third, fourth, fifth string wide receiver. That's an impressive play from a DB to cover for that long. The other guy that I thought had a nice night, I'll call it when I'm wrong because I've been bagging on him all off season, saying that the Raiders are playing him wrong and this and that. But Pao Mao, he had a nice night tonight. He had a couple nice pass deflections, and he got in there on the run game a couple times. I mean, credit where credit is due. That makes it a tougher decision between him and Stokes.
Yeah, and a guy that I don't want to leave out of here is Dalton Johnson. I believe, from what I saw, he stood out a few times. He had some nice. He's a solid tackler from the safety position. So that to me, that says a lot. We need guys that can actually come up and tackle, and that's pretty much been our Achilles heel for quite some time now. And again, it goes back to some of my previous videos. I think you have a combination of the NFL rules, CBA rules, how much time we're going to tackle in practice. It's different from the old school days where you were in damn near 2 days practice. Every single practice was tackling. Old school days, baby.
Yeah.
But no, I want to go back to that wide receiver group, man. This is the one of three groups. I've got three groups. Wide receiver group number one, beyond Tucker and Naylor, I think those two guys are solidified themselves. You know, Jack Bech played great against the Cardinals, and it was like almost like they either phased him out of the play calling. And this is what I wanted to ask you because you're a huge Jack Bech fan like I am too. But it seems like they either phased him out of the play calling to where they were going to look his way and then go other places, or he's not creating separation yet.
Yeah, I mean, it might be a little bit of both. You know, you never want to put too much stock into preseason games because of vanilla game plans and stuff like that. I think he's made the most with the opportunities that he's had, but even the routes that he is running and getting open on, it's not like he's running seam routes, right? He's not running 15-yard overs or anything like that. Like it's close to the line of scrimmage, dink and dunk type of stuff. So maybe they don't feel like he can separate down the field. I mean, we're gonna find out through the course of the regular season. I mean, obviously Tucker, Naylor, and Benson are the speed guys. So that's not really going to be his role anyway, in my opinion.
No, I think no, and I agree with you there. But the thing maybe I need to reword that a little bit more. I'm not talking about separation like going down the field separation. I'm talking about finding those spaces. Like the one thing I wrote down in here too about Clint Kubiak's offense. When they first came out, those first couple of drives with Kirk Cousins, especially that first drive, the spacing is insane. First of all, I want to say this too. Clint Kubiak I wrote this down. He's a demon for starting his starters in the week 3 of a preseason before going into game. I wrote down on here specifically a demon for starting your starters, which was bold, but I love it because you got to get that gel. You got to get that feeling. And I think it was Rich Gannon brought it up perfectly too. The Raiders have like 17 days. I believe it is. I believe he said it was like, 17 days before they play. So yeah, they need as much time on task as possible. So back to Clint Kubiak, he's creating those spaces. That's what I mean by separation. When he's running a play and a guy breaks off, you see Naylor and you see Tucker get into those spaces quick, get open, get the ball, and then make a move and do their stuff. And I don't know if that's Jack Bech's type job in this role on the offense. I don't know what his established role is going to be going forward, but I'm excited because then you get him, you get Naylor, you get Tucker, you get Brock in the mix, you get Mayer in the mix. I think Jack Bech will still have a huge year compared to last year and have a better role going forward.
Totally.
Especially in the run game, because we know we can block.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I kind of like the way, I mean, with the talent that we have, I like the way the wide receiver core all complements each other because, you know, to me, Naylor's the speed down the field guy. We've talked about that. You've talked about Tucker. If he's the number one guy, he's going to get the most looks, the most receptions, probably because he can do the most things, whether it's the jet sweeps, the zone screens, the bubble screens. I mean, everything like that. Jack Bech's role is going to be kind of how they've been using him. He's lined up in the slot. He's either going to be blocking or he's going to be making that tough catch over the middle and taking the hit. But yeah, you're totally right. Naylor, you got two hands on the ball. I mean, the broadcast for the Raiders, they were kind of dogging on Mendoza a little bit, saying he shouldn't have been throwing it in such a tight spot. Well, the defender didn't get a fingertip on it. Naylor got both hands on it. So as far as I'm concerned, it was a great freaking throw. I'll take that all day. Naylor's got to catch it.
Well, to be fair on that, it's Rich Gannon, perfectionist at quarterback. If you would have had a wide receiver on the broadcast, you know what the wide receiver was going to say. You get two hands on the ball, you better come down with it. I mean, it's like Kirk Morrison on there talking about the linebacker play, and I just loved everything he was talking about the defense, but we'll get into that in a minute. The other third, so there's three things. The wide receiver group is one that I'm worried about. I think they need to go out and get a dude. And hopefully somebody falls to them and they get another guy that can come out there and really help them out. The second group is the depth on the O-line. I did write down in the notes that we have a great problem, and then we have a not so great problem. The great problem after watching tonight is, excuse me, we have three legit starting guards. You got Burford, you got JPJ, and you got Rogers. And I think all three of those dudes can play guard and start on this team at guard. The problem is after that, two guys that need to be cut. What time is it? The game just got over. They should have been already cut. They're already in Vegas. They should have been cut already. Two guys we don't want to ever see, at least I don't ever want to see in Raider gear again. And I'm going to be harsh, but it's going to be Meredith and Mafi. Okay? I don't think either one of those. I think you can go out and get upgrades when all these cuts start happening, when all the free agents start happening and stuff like that. So I don't particularly think there's a reason why you need to keep either of those two guys on the team. I think you need to go out and get you some backup tackles, possibly, because it was kind of rough a little bit at times. And that leads to my next note real quick before you jump in here. I don't think they set Fernando Mendoza up tonight to be successful at all to win this game. And from the protection side of things, and yeah, pretty much it. I mean, they didn't protect him.
Yeah.
And sometimes it seemed like play calling too. I will admit that. Sometimes it did not seem like the play calling was matching up and it goes also to this. He's a rookie quarterback. How much of the offense are they going to allow him to do? Like, how much are they going to allow him to check at the line? They always talk about with the rookies, like, no, we want you to stay with the plan, or here's another play. Or can he just be like, okay, I see this guy blitzing off the edge. Can we just check to a run? Or, and I know it's preseason, so it's kind of like weird about that right now too. So that's the other portion of it. So what do you think about this offensive line from this game?
Well, the first team offensive line I thought looked really, really good. And I think Rodgers probably did enough to supplant JPJ as the starter. I mean, that's just my eyeball test, really? Not going back and watching nothing, anything like that. But the couple of big runs that Mike Washington broke off, he was running right up behind Rodgers, it looked like to me. So he even popped the helmet off of a San Fran linebacker. Yeah. I love to see that. I mean, anytime helmets are going flying, I'm down. So first team offensive line looked really good. And yeah, you're reading my mail when it comes to Meredith. Like, I said last week, just leave him on the tarmac in Houston. We'll move on. Don't worry about it. As far as Mendoza goes, on the one hand, he's the first overall pick. He should be able to figure it out, but at the same time, he is a rookie. He did get some run with the first team offensive line today. Now, granted, our wide receivers aren't great, and it was a lot of drop back passing for the most part, and they didn't try to run the ball the way they did when Kirk was in there, and Laube was in there, and then they started rotating guys out. So, yeah, Mendoza took some lumps, but I mean, still overall, you can see the mobility, the athleticism, the talent, the arm talent. He's a super smart guy. He's making smart plays out there. It's going to come to him. But yeah, I think as an offensive unit, we got a lot of work to do before you drop a rookie quarterback in there and expect him to have sustained success.
Yeah, and I think I've moved on. I'm ready. I think Kirk's the number one guy. I've been saying it. People have been arguing with me back and forth. Well, Mendoza and Kirk, and I've been saying the same thing this whole offseason. It's like this. Raider Nation, if you're listening, please hear me out for a second and just understand this. I want to win, but if you look at this roster right now, are we good enough as a team to beat, as a roster, are we good enough of a team to beat Kansas City, Denver, and the Chargers to be first place? To be first place. If you're not, are you good enough to be second and have enough wins, 10 plus wins, to be a wild card team? Because that's almost what you got to look for in the NFL now. We play in the hardest division in the AFC, by far, in my opinion. It's going to be a brutal schedule. So it's like this. Would you prefer a 8 to 9 win season with Kirk Cousins as your starting quarterback, or Mendoza leading a 6-win season, let's say, 5 to 6 win season, and now he's going into next year as the full-time starter with a full season under his belt, being able to be like, okay, now I have that much? Or are you willing to wait it out till next season? Because the thing is like next year, if he does come in as the number one, because he's probably going to be number one next year, QB1 next year, Mendoza, most likely. If that's the case, and they continue to build the roster, but he's going to still have to take a full season of lumps as an actual starter in the full season. So it's like a coin. You got to basically flip and pick which one you really want. To me, I'm more of the let's do like some of the other teams did, start our rookie quarterback and let him take his lumps, let him learn, because Mendoza's not the type of dude. He's not your I don't know, one of these quarterbacks, you can name a million of them now, that are going to come in and get beat up and it gets to them and then they fade out and never have a career again. I don't see him as one of those quarterbacks. You know what I mean? He's too mentally smart to do that. He's got that right. Brady mentality kind of when it comes to that.
And look what he's already been through. Right? He's not Anthony Richardson, where he's coming into the league where he's hardly played football, right? So he's got 2 full seasons at least, plus starting in college. He's played a lot of football. He's had really good coaches. So if you let him sit this season behind Kirk, I mean, we'll see how the season goes. Like, if the season gets off to a rough start, you might see him kind of early, but I don't think it's going to, okay? You're talking about, can we win 8, 9, 10 games? Well, in my opinion, yes. From what I saw from the defense tonight. So we'll get to that. But if Ashton Jeanty and Brock Bowers play to their potential and everybody stays healthy, which, whatever, and the offensive line can play to their potential as well, the Raiders have as good a shot as anybody. Okay. Because I keep saying it. I think the Chiefs are on the come down. Bo Nick saying all that. And the Chargers, you don't really know what you're going to get. Even in the Chargers preseason game tonight, they had 2 drives with their starters. One was a turnover where they looked like crap. And the next play, it was 1 play touchdown. So, I mean, what are the Chargers really going to be? Like, I'm not as scared of the rest of our division as maybe the pundits. But it is a tough division when you just look at the coaches and the quarterbacks. We'll see how it plays out, though.
Okay, and I completely with you there. But here's the other flip side to that too. Did Kirk Cousins show you enough tonight, especially? We know he did that first game. He drove down the field again, but it was the Cardinals. Let's be real. It was the Cardinals. We drove down, got a touchdown. But did he show you enough tonight to be like, wow, he's going to be the guy to get us to 10-plus wins?
Yes.
Because to me, not really.
He did,
okay,
but with an asterisk, right? If you go back and you look at his throws and you look at the play calls and you look at, we're running the ball and then it's play action. We're throwing to Bowers. It's the way Kubiak calls plays for Kirk. He's not asking Kirk to throw a 15-yard out, right? He's not asking Kirk to roll out and then throw back across his body to somebody in the middle of like it's safe throw. It's like he knows what he's doing. Kirk and Kubiak are like this, right? I keep doing this, but they know each other. Kubiak knows what Kirk can and can't do, and he's not going to ask him to do something he can't do. That's why I believe Kirk is the guy this season, and he can be highly successful when he's protected. Even Gannon said that on the telecast. When Kirk is comfortable in the pocket and he can see the field, he's as good as anybody in the league. He can get hot, and he can win games on his own.
Yeah, so that debate is pretty much over. We pretty much see that Kirk's going to be the guy.
Totally.
So, like I said, I still would love Mendoza, but I'm still rocking Kirk all day long. Let's get it, baby. So, if you're the man, you get in there and play. Or it could be Clark. What are you going for 2 for 2, right? Or no. That first one they said incomplete, didn't they?
They called that one back. Poor guy. He got 2 reps the whole freaking preseason, and they call one back on him. Like, just give him the damn complete, dude. Poor dude.
I know, poor guy. Oh, yeah. All right, let's move on, man. All right, so 2 guys. So my third, we got wide receiver group, offensive line group. The next is the interior D line group. I don't know what's going to happen there. They're going to have to probably find somebody on the waiver wire or something in the next couple of days. Spytek is going to have to do some magic there. And I believe he will because of what he's done in the past, this last off season and stuff like that. So hopefully he'll find some stuff. But there's 2 guys before I don't even want to really dive into that too much, but there's 2 guys that I think, and they're on the cover of the thumbnail, baby, that I think made the team. I went back and looked through all my notes too before I wrote on this, and every week that I've written these guys, every game, I can't even get the words out. Every game that I've taken notes, I've wrote down, there we go, these 2 guys' names almost every single time. Whether it's special teams, whether it's effort, whether it's making plays, you got number 93, Patrick Johnson, and you've got 48, Sloane. These guys are out there. Patrick Johnson on special teams goes down, does like a weird move on this guy. I love it, just like almost like a swim move type thing, and it makes a huge tackle on special teams. Like, dude, you wear number 93. You're a defensive lineman, and you're down there that quick, making a big hit like that. That shows like wow. And then, and he just flashes all over the place. They kept talking about him on the broadcast. And then you got Sloane, who did the same thing. He had a big time special teams tackle as well. He had a 4th down or on the play that was a 4th down play. He read that so beautifully. If he just I think it was Kirk either said it or Rich Gannon either said it. One of the 2 said it. If he just goes a little bit farther to the receiver, instead of constantly looking back at the quarterback, if he just runs, I think it was a tight end. If he runs to that guy, he stops him from catching that ball, but he jumps and almost gets it. I just love his effort, man. He's just all over the place. And it's almost like watching Max Crosby, 4th round pick. This guy's undrafted. Come out there, show some effort, run around, make tackles, just play hard-nosed Raider football. Another guy that stood out today, one last one. One guy that stood out today for me. Actually, no, you go ahead, jump in there. Go ahead, jump in
Yeah,
about those two guys real
I
quick.
was just going to say Sloane is, I kind of agree. He's kind of the trailer park version of Max Crosby, if you will, right? Since we're playing the Niners, whole trailer park
Yeah.
thing. But no, I like Sloane, and he showed me enough tonight that I would keep him on the team because, the play you're talking about, he just missed it off of his fingertips. And then there was another play later in the game where he actually was dropping into coverage and he missed the tackle, right? But dude, he showed me enough athleticism to see that, he can clearly do it. He can get out in space and he can move around and make plays. So that was one thing I guess I hadn't really seen enough of. I can see him going forward, going towards the quarterback, attacking the tackle. But yeah, too, with Johnson, I love that you mentioned the number 93 because, it kind of is shades of another number 93 from my childhood, Greg Townsend, running around making plays. Maybe one of the most underrated defensive linemen of all time. I always had a soft spot for him because obviously my name's Greg. That's Greg Townsend, the franchise's all-time leading sacker. But yeah, Johnson, he doesn't pass my eyeball test, but every time you turn on the TV, he's just making plays. So, you can't not have guys like that on your team. He's always around the ball. He's always making tackles. He's always on your TV screen in a positive way. So, I'm down with having to keep both of them, especially now. I'm not sure what's going on with Crawford yet. Obviously, there's no reports out yet.
Greg, hold on. Hold on. He doesn't pass your eyeball test. He doesn't pass your eyeball test.
No.
Dude, you see these? I'm sending you these tomorrow to help you out, brother.
I'm talking about off the line of scrimmage. When I'm looking at defensive linemen and edge guys, I want to see them explode off the line of scrimmage and win in their first step. And he's not that type of guy, but that doesn't mean he can't play football and he can't make plays.
Nah, I see what you're saying. No, that's funny. Okay.
I got contacts in, not glasses.
There you go. All right. So two guys, we've been talking about my position, and my position is the linebacker position. It's what I coach at the high school level. I love it. I study it. And two guys stood out tonight that I could see, and they've stood out. And you actually mentioned one of them in our last show, the 90 to 53 show, the cut show. Number 50, I can't ever say his name. We'll just leave it at that. Number 50 kind of stood out today. Almost would have had a pick. Kirk Morrison mentioned that, but made a great play on the ball to make it so. I think it was a tight end over the middle, ran like a little curl route, played it perfectly, defended the ball. I think they had to punt or kick a field goal after that. I'm not too sure. Somebody correct me in the comments on that one. The other guy, 57. I didn't even know who he was until tonight, but man, was he everywhere. McGrone?
Yep.
I mean, he for sure is a dog at best or worst case scenario practice squad guy. But when you look in front of him, when you look in front of those two guys, when you go from Quay Walker and Dean, there's a huge drop off at the linebacker position. 44 and the Bergs, the two Bergs, man.
Yep.
The two Bergs is just they're just not. They're just something about them is just not clicking. And 57 and 50 showed me tonight, and then I'm going to have to go back and watch film from other games. They showed me that they can not only be special as backups, but they can play on special teams as well. So, you're trying to find a role on this team. And if you can't make it as a starter, special teams is where it's at. And if you can't make it there, you're on the practice squad. So those are two guys I would love to see. If they don't take it over for the Bergs, hide them on the practice squad, Spytek. Do what you can. Hide them somewhere.
Yeah, so, after watching the game tonight, I feel even more cemented in on what I said on the last show. I would keep Lindenberg, and I would let Eichenberg go. Eichenberg. Yeah. But yeah, I like 50. Olabu, I think is his name. Speed, instincts. He's around the ball. He's making tackles he's going to give you more on teams than Eichenberg probably will. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a no-brainer, but we'll see what Spytek does. He's got some work to do for sure.
Oh yeah, 100%. Okay, so you mentioned his name. I wasn't gonna say much, but I have to say it, man. I have to say it. First and foremost, prayers up, big time prayers up, because I hope the guy's healthy. Crawford. I don't know any information coming out about that yet. I haven't really checked X. I try to stay off of there as much as possible during games because people freak out all the time. Raider Nation just goes nuts on there. So I'm like, this year I'm going to try to stay off of there and stick to my notes. Stick to my eyeball test, baby. But big prayers up to him. But before the injury happened, I was like, where is Crawford? And we've been talking about this for 3 games. All 3 games. Where is he? It's like he's a ghost out there. And to me, I'm going to say this. Patrick Johnson and Sloane have outplayed Crawford. Could we see that draft pick being a potential cut depending on what his injury situation is? Or do they still keep him and keep both Patrick Johnson and Sloane? That's going to be a hard one right there for Spytek too, because he drafted him.
It will be, and yeah, that injury doesn't look good. Just from watching it on TV and the way they took him off. So yeah, prayers up. Hope he's good. I think at best maybe he's on short-term IR. I mean, I don't want to jump the gun on it because I don't know anything about anything, but just from looking at how they took him off the field, we'll see what happens. But no, I mean, Crawford, he still flashes at times to me. I mean, he's run a couple tackles into the ground, and even tonight, he got pushed way back around the play, and he kept motoring and kept playing and came up and made a play on the ball carrier from behind. So, I mean, I think there's still plenty there to work with. It's just he's really raw. I'm not sure what kind of coaching he got at Auburn, but it didn't seem like it was much. It was more like, get in your stance and see ball, hit ball. That's probably the amount of coaching that he got at Auburn. So, we'll see how he comes around. We'll see what the injury is. But yeah, you're not wrong. Johnson and Sloane showed a lot more than he did throughout the preseason, at least on game day. We don't know exactly what did or didn't happen throughout practices, but I still think the future's bright for him. I think he's going to be on the team one way or another this whole season, and we'll see how he develops and comes around.
Yeah, and like I said, big prayers for him. I want him to, man, all off season. I love the pick. I'm hoping and praying that he's okay, and I hope and pray that he makes the team still because I love him, dude. I think he could. I think that he is raw, like you said, and being from Auburn, I mean, who knows? So, who knows what kind of coaching they got down there? But man, Crawford, if you hear this, we're praying for you, man.
Oh yeah.
But moving forward, so a few things I want to talk about before we get off of here, and that's I had it. Apologize.
I bet
Fullbacks.
you were gonna
Go ahead.
shout out Matt Gay. He only missed 1 field goal tonight.
Bro.
Way to go, man. Keep up the good work.
They said he only coming into tonight's game when he was kicking all those kicks tonight, his leg probably got tired. That's why
Yeah.
we couldn't find the end zone. We couldn't find the damn end zone. His leg was getting tired, man, kicking all these field goals. He's bound to miss one. Like shit.
Yeah.
Hate games like this. But they said that he hadn't missed a kick this whole preseason. Is that right?
No, that's inaccurate. I know he for sure missed an extra point earlier this preseason. And
no, but I think they were talking. I think they were just talking about overall 3-point kicks. I'm not sure.
Either way, he's the best kicker we got. That's what we're rolling with. Just don't miss any in the regular season, dude. That's all that matters.
Exactly. Hopefully, we won't see much of him. We need 7s, baby. We need to finish with 7s. Rob Leonard surprised me tonight and did something that I was hoping he would do. And I loved it, and he did it the perfect timing, the perfect way, and he used my favorite linebacker on 3rd and 3. He blitzed Walker up the middle, got pressure on the quarterback, good back end coverage. I think that's the one that Johnson, TJ had coverage on too, tight coverage up the sideline. but the forced quick throw made it all kind of complete. That's what I want to see, because on my paper, I said, let's fucking go. On my paper, I wrote it right down next to that play and an asterisk right next to it, because that's the type of defense I want to see from the Raiders this year. None of this dropping people on 3rd and 3. We're going to drop everybody, and then they just dump it off, or the quarterback runs up the middle for a first down. Like, let's bring some heat and let's pressure this damn fool.
Yep. I mean, that's how you come up with turnovers too. You speed the quarterback up. He's got to throw it before he wants to. And if TJ happens to turn around a step earlier, that ball's just floating in the air. It's a fair catch for him. He could have picked it off. But I mean, those are the types of things you got to create on 3rd down. And big shout out to Rob Leonard, because I'm pretty sure the 49ers in the first half did not convert a 3rd down. So I don't care if you're playing the first team, second team, third team, whatever. If the team you're playing against comes out and goes 0 of 6, 0 of 7, whatever it was in the first half on 3rd down, that's job well done. That's the whole point of playing defense, is get the damn ball back.
Yeah, for sure. So a couple more shout outs before we get out of here. Fullbacks, baby. I love it. I love this offense. I told you, Hayward, man, do not play with the fullbacks in this scheme. This is the reason Ashton Jeanty and Mike Washington are going to eat all week, every weekend long, all season longs. I can't even get the words out. I'm so excited, man. I love fullbacks. Here's the thing. I was a fullback / linebacker in high school, and I sucked at football. And on the JV team, I got my first carry as a fullback, did like an I formation, got the ball, went up to the line of scrimmage, rolled out or spun off the line, and took it to the house for a 50-yard touchdown. Never saw the football field ever after that. I was so mad. I'm a better coach than I am a player, so that's why I joined the Marine Corps. But, man, I love fullbacks, dude. Hayward's going to be – and so that leads me to 2 guys, I think, in this offense that are going to be essential and bring the offense together this season, and that is going to be Hayward, the fullback, and Michael Mayer, man. Like, those 2 guys, between the blocking, between the passing, pass protection, like all of that, the way this scheme works out, I think they're both going to ball out this year. And I got here, I'm making a projection, whatever you want to call it. Michael Mayer is going to end up with 10 pass catching touchdowns this season. I'm calling it right now, 10.
Yeah, I mean, I can totally see that, because the defense is going to be concentrating on 89 without a doubt. So everybody else is going to have one-on-one opportunities. And you going on about the fullbacks, I'm right there with you, because number one, you put a fullback like that in front of Ashton Jeanty and this offensive line continues to gel, dude. The difference from Ashton Jeanty 2025 to Ashton Jeanty 2026 is going to be epic. All right. I've been praising him all off season, so let's see how it goes. But I'm telling you, dude, he's going to be unstoppable. And number 2, and I think Kubiak is the coach for this. Like, I've been waiting. Dude, we haven't won a playoff game in 23 years when you stop and think about that. And I think the main reason for that is an attitude. Like, when's the last time the Raiders had an attitude where you break the huddle as the offense, you walk to the line of scrimmage on a 3rd and 1, you can point to the a-hole, you know what I'm saying, the a-hole, and say, we're running it right there. Go ahead and stop
us. Yeah.
Go ahead. And it's been so long since the Raiders have had that type of attitude, and we're going to have that this season. I can see it when you hear Kubiak talk. That's what he wants to do, and that's going to be the mentality of this team. And ultimately, that's how you build a foundation of a good football team, is that type of attitude.
Yeah,
so that's
run it down your throat. And he's the last shout out I got tonight. He's got the guy up front to do it with Rico Dennison, they call him. They call him Rico. Coach Dennison, the offensive line coach. They call him Rico out there. Rico is the man, and you can already see it's night and day. We've got adults in the building. We've been talking about that all off season. So big shout out to him. I love it. Like you said, Raiders running it down your throat. all season long. Watch out. Here we come. Here we come. So, 3 preseason games in the books. The evaluations are over for us. The cuts are next. And the next time the Raiders take the field, it counts. I'm Eric, the Clueless Sports Dad. That's Raider Greg. Thanks for coming in, Greg.
Uncle Rico, I'm out.